Fellas, picture this. Every time you walk into a room, she can't take her eyes off you. She's always thinking about you, wondering why you haven't texted back. And when you do, she feels an excitement she can't explain. High-value men know how to create this reaction. If you think it's just about looks or money, you're missing the point. Stick with me, and I'll share some secrets that go beyond the obvious. The power of unpredictability. Alright, let's get into it. One big reason high-value men make women obsessed is that they master unpredictability. A lot of guys mess up by being too available and predictable. Think about it. If you're always texting back in seconds, showing up whenever she calls, or planning your whole schedule around her, you're basically saying she has you figured out. There's no challenge, no mystery, and if there's one thing women crave, it's excitement and the thrill of the unknown. High-value men know that predictability kills attraction. They don't show all their cards. Instead of following the usual patterns, they live by their own schedule. They don't rush to respond to every text or bend over backward to be available. Why? Because they have their own lives, ambitions, and priorities. This doesn't mean they ignore her. It means they're selective about when and how they engage. Sometimes they might respond quickly, and other times it might take hours or even a day. This keeps her guessing, wondering why you're different and what you're up to. When a woman can't predict your next move, it triggers a psychological response. She starts analyzing every detail, replaying conversations, and overthinking why you haven't texted back. She craves your attention, not because you're playing games, but because your life doesn't revolve around her. And that's something she respects, even if she won't admit it. This unpredictability works even better when you combine it with authenticity. Don't act mysterious just for the sake of it. Fill your life with things that genuinely interest you. Whether it's hitting the gym, working on a project, or hanging out with friends, make sure you're busy. The more you dive into your passions, the more it shows you're a man with depth, not just someone waiting for her next move. Example: let's say she texts you at 10 p.m. asking what you're up to. Instead of replying right away, wait until the next morning. When you do respond, keep it casual. Hey, just saw your text, was finishing up some work. How's your night? This shows you're not just hanging around waiting for her text. It gives the impression that you have your own life. When she sees that, she'll feel intrigued and want to know more about what's keeping you busy. But be careful. Unpredictability doesn't mean you disappear entirely or play childish games. It's about balance. You want to be consistent enough so she knows you're interested, but just distant enough to keep her guessing. That way, she's hooked, always wondering what you're up to and looking forward to the next time she hears from you. Mastering the art of intentional distance. Now, let's talk about distance, because when used right, it's a powerful tool for attraction. First, this isn't about ghosting her or being unavailable all the time. It's about creating a sense of independence and freedom in your dynamic. High-value men know that when a woman is always around, she doesn't get the chance to miss them or fully appreciate them. Space gives her time to reflect, think, and most importantly, crave. When you give her space, it lets her imagination run wild. She starts thinking about you more and wonders what you're doing and why you haven't reached out. It's during these moments of silence that she questions her feelings for you. Without that distance, she doesn't get to feel that longing or anticipation. When you're always available, she never has time to miss you, and that keeps her feelings on the surface. High-value men use this to their advantage. They don't check in every day, and they don't plan their whole week around her schedule. They might go a couple of days without reaching out, letting her initiate contact first. And when she does, that's when you know she's thinking about you and missing your presence. But this isn't just about making her miss you, it's about keeping your sense of self. When you prioritize your own life and passions, you naturally create space. That leads to a deeper connection without even trying. You show her you're not desperate for her attention, and that makes her crave it even more. Intentional distance also means controlling your own energy. When you reconnect, bring something new and interesting to the table. Maybe a story from your week, a new achievement, or a hobby you've been working on. This shows her that while you value your time together, you're also capable of enriching your own life independently. Example: let's say you and this woman had an amazing weekend together. Instead of texting her the next morning, give it some time. Let her sit with the memory of the weekend. Don't fill that space with small talk or validation. When you finally message her, keep it light. Hey, had a great time the other day. Hope your week's off to a good start. This is confident, casual, and doesn't overinvest in being around you. High-value men know that space creates attraction. When she has time to miss you, her feelings deepen and become more intense. Intentional distance isn't about manipulation. It's about maintaining a healthy sense of individuality. It's about ensuring you both have time to appreciate the moments when you come together, rather than making it a constant routine. This balance keeps her intrigued, wondering, and ultimately more invested in you. The psychology of absence. Why does absence work so well in relationships? It's all about psychology. The scarcity effect is a well-known phenomenon. The more scarce something is, the more valuable it becomes. When you're always around, she can take you for granted. But when you create a bit of space, you become more desirable simply because you're not always available. Absence doesn't have to be physical either. Emotional absence is just as powerful. If you're emotionally detached at times, not in a cold way, but by not seeking constant validation or attention from her, you'll create more desire. She'll feel more emotionally connected to you because you're not constantly pushing for her affection. Example: during a conversation, instead of constantly asking her questions or trying to keep the dialogue going, let the conversation breathe. Sometimes, silence can be the most powerful thing you can offer. When you don't fill every gap in the conversation, it gives her space to think and wonder about you. The more you make yourself emotionally unavailable, without being rude, the more she'll feel the pull toward you. This is a fundamental psychological principle. When something becomes harder to attain, it triggers a deeper desire. Women are no different. They want what they can't have and crave what they don't fully understand. Example: after a few great dates, you don't see her for a couple of weeks. During that time, keep living your life, staying focused on your goals and passions. When you reconnect, she's eager to see you again because she's had time to miss you. It's not about playing games. It's about creating a natural rhythm in the relationship, where both people have time to reflect and appreciate each other. By mastering the art of intentional distance, you're allowing the relationship to develop naturally without forcing it. You're not trying to manipulate her emotions. You're simply giving her the space she needs to fall for you in a deeper way. Maintaining your own identity. Another key aspect of attracting a woman and making her obsessed is keeping your sense of self. High-value men know they should never lose their identity in a relationship. The moment you start molding yourself to fit someone else's idea of who you should be, you lose your power. Women are attracted to men who are comfortable in their own skin, who have their own dreams, ambitions, and goals. This doesn't mean you ignore her needs or don't care about the relationship. It means you're a man who is so grounded in who you are that you're not easily swayed by anyone else's opinions or needs. You've got your own goals, and you're on your own mission. This makes you more attractive because you're not desperate for validation or attention. You're already complete, and if she decides to be part of your life, that's a bonus, not a requirement. When a woman sees that you're living your life with purpose, she feels that energy. She's drawn to your focus, and the fact that you're not waiting for her validation makes her want to earn your affection. She sees you as someone who can live a fulfilling life without her, which paradoxically makes her want to be a part of that life even more. Example: let's say you're passionate about your work, fitness, or a personal project. Instead of dropping everything when she calls, let her know you're in the middle of something important. You're not dismissing her, but you're also not putting your life on pause just for her. This healthy boundary shows you have your own interests and that your life doesn't revolve around her, which makes her desire you more. The final word. At the end of the day, what makes a high-value man so captivating isn't his looks, money, or status. It's his confidence, unpredictability, and sense of self. By maintaining your independence, embracing unpredictability, and creating intentional distance, you can trigger a deep emotional response in her that will make her want you more than ever. Remember, the key to lasting attraction isn't about chasing or playing games. It's about being true to yourself, maintaining your own life, and making her feel like she's part of your world, not the center of it. When you master this dynamic, you'll have the power to make any woman obsessed with you.